Yes. Mhm. Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to say, call hello, Yahweh, Bashem, Yahweh Shai, Bashem, Lakar, Kodash. Honor to the apostles and the elders of the throne. Send much peace, love, and salutations to you, brothers and sisters out there pushing the glory of Yahweh, Bashem, Yahweh Shai, in sincerity and truth. It's Brother Ariala. This is going to be another path to the Motb. I was, just listening to different videos, catching different articles and news clips that's been coming out over the last couple of days. And the World Government Summit has been pretty much documenting and all over a lot of the news. And he actually has two clips that I want to play because they both speak to what we've been talking about with the World War III algorithms, the path to the Motb. Now you got brothers that do the news and prophecy, the news and prophecy segments where we go through the news and show you how these things are relevant. And so I'm gonna play a clip from this summit, and with Charles Schwab. And we understand that the summit is the high peak or the apex of a mountain. You go to the etymology of summit, it says highest point, peak, apex, highest part of a hill. And we understand, the scriptures, when you go to Revelation, the 17th chapter describes these kingdoms as mountains, and at these high places, at these summits, was places for, on the right hand and left hand side, high level power or witchcraft, and this is where they make their decisions for the nations. They make their decisions on which direction they want to go. And right now, that spirit of pushing the Motb and really trying to realize this digital age that they want, it's at its peak, it's at its summit, no pun intended. Excuse me. But I'm gonna play this and go over a few things. Revelation chapter 17, verse 9 says, and here is the mind which have wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman sitteth. All right, talking about this beast with 7 heads and 10 horns. All right, and there are 7 kings, 5 are fallen, 1 is, and the other is not yet come. And when he cometh, he must continue a short space. Talking about America. All right, talking about what comes after England. And the beast that was and is not, even he is the 8th, and is of the 7th, and goeth into perdition. All right, and that's why you see Trump at the forefront of a lot of the actions that's going on within the UK and the EU. All right, and it's since you have Trump come to the forefront and start talking about the AI age and all this, now the UK is pushing it forward. Right, and the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings for 1 hour with the beast. These have one mind and shall give their power and strength to the beast. And so we talk about lawmaking and geoeconomics. You see them on the left and the right as far as the geopolitical spectrum. They're all moving on one accord. And we've been saying this is how it goes, but at the end they were going to fight. So I'm gonna play a couple of these clips, get a few more scriptures. I'll be looking at the chat. Y'all let me know thoughts in the chat, and Lord willing, I can get to some of them. All right. Yes.
50% of your job is going to be done. Don't worry about it. When we say that AI is going to replace humanity, don't worry about it. When we say AI could literally commit mass genocide on humanity, don't worry about it. Trust in the government, folks. Listen.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Minister, since we opened this meeting,
it's crazy that this guy's at the forefront and he has this classic villain voice. I mean, you couldn't write this. You couldn't write this better, you know. And look at all these towel heads. You know,
it's the first meeting 12 years ago, I think. The world has changed so much, but I have to say you were always at the forefront of this change. Now, ladies and gentlemen, just think you were living.
And one of the things that I find fascinating is how proud Esau is, because, you know, since he first started to speak about the fourth industrial revolution, and now they call it the information age. They've been very bold with just being straightforward with what they want to do and speaking it. It's not like veiled talk. It's straightforward. This is what we're and it's for the better of the earth. And look, either you with it or you can move around. Get with it or you can move around. Okay. So it's they you know, it used to be you have to really listen and put together the pieces. You ain't no pieces to put together. It's just straightforward.
200 years back, it was the agricultural age. And then we had the first industrial revolution, with the invention of the steam engine, the second industrial revolution with mass production, electricity, the third industrial revolution, computers, and then the fourth industrial revolution. And I remember I spoke about the fourth industrial revolution when we opened this meeting.
Oh, come on now, don't play. Bear with me, man. I'm in this country ass town. Internet goes in and out. Y'all let me know if y'all can hear me. It says I got a connection. Interesting. Okay, so loud and clear. I wonder why it's doing that. Interesting. Pull up. I want to play this one with JD Vance because he went and spoke before this summit in Paris, and they're pushing it, man. JD Vance rails against excessive regulation of AI at Paris summit, and they're not playing, man. Esau's moving at warp speed on this thing. They're ready to get it.
I'm not here this morning to talk about AI safety, which was the title of the conference a couple of years ago. I'm here to talk about AI opportunity. When conferences like this convene to discuss a cutting edge technology, oftentimes I think our response is to be too risk averse. But never have I encountered a breakthrough in tech that
Yeah, man. Appreciate the blessings. I need them, man. Been out here trying to do these videos, and my location has not been the. But we got to do the work, right? Just make it do what it do. Make it do what it do. All right. All right. So I think the thing is just needed to completely re-upload. All right. So I jumped off my VPN. Let's see if this will play.
The fourth industrial revolution. And I remember I spoke about the fourth industrial revolution when we opened.
Boy, they won't let you play it. All the other videos playing except this one. It's funny. All right, I'll leave this one alone. Hopefully the next one.
Healthcare, free expression, and beyond. And to restrict its development now will not only unfairly benefit incumbents in the space, it would mean.
So basically what they're doing is stripping down all the regulations and kind of the middlemen so they can start to move quickly. And with the power that Trump has been able to obtain as far as his control over the Senate and the House of Representatives of Congress in general, and him being able to use these executive orders to kind of put in place his own little personal bureaucracies, they're able to set the stage to move the Motb at the forefront fast, really fast even. And anybody that's coming against them are basically being demonized. So you know how the scriptures talk about how they a cruel ruler was going to be put in place, man. And this is what's happening with this current administration and what they've been able to do. It's very interesting even. Let me see if this piece.
From the industrial age to the intelligent age. Compared to the first transition from the agricultural to the industrial age, where we had several generations to adapt. Now, at exponential speed.
So he basically says, you know, when we went from the old agrarian age to the industrial age, there was generations to get prepared. He's letting the people know this thing is coming at a fast with this. All right. And he's telling all the other so-called world leaders, buckle up, because we're getting ready to move. We read Revelation 12 and 12 all the time. And this fits. It fits.
Everybody speaks about artificial intelligence, but just imagine what progress has been made just in the last 3 years. Now again, this country has been very foresighted. I think, Minister, you have since 2017 a Minister for Artificial Intelligence. So we are living in the transition to a new time, which will change everything. It will change how we communicate, how we work, how we live. In the agricultural age, the economy was mainly based on agricultural products. In the industrial age, industrial products and services, more and more sophisticated. But now in this new age, the base will be knowledge, data, and intelligent insight. guys. What does it mean for governments? Governments have to be enablers of this change at lightning speed. They have to provide the necessary infrastructure. And they have particularly to cooperate with business, because this transition into this new intelligent age will only be mastered if all stakeholders of global society work together. Governments in the lead, business as the innovators, and of course civil society, making sure that this transformation.
So basically, they're merging everything, government with the private sector, and all the citizenry got to be down for it. This is why we continuously will read the scripture in Revelation, the 13th chapter, 16th verse, and he calls it all. All right. Now, when they want to talk about this infrastructure, the infrastructure pretty much is the template for the infrastructure has already been created. Over the last 10, 15 years, they've been doing the making and creating the data centers. They've been creating the quantum computing satellites. They've been working and fine-tuning blockchain technology. It's already been so it's just like what happened with the jab. Whenever the jab came, they made it seem like, oh, they had to come up with all of these ideas like real fast. And then anybody that was paying attention noticed that they pretty much had everything built already. The QR code systems and everything was slapped on every restaurant door and basically became a mainstream thing overnight. It wasn't that hard of a transition. Why? It's because they prepare these things, like it talks about in Micah, the 2nd chapter. You know, they prepare these things. All right. And they can get it going. This is the book of Daniel, the 12th chapter. Verse 4 says, "But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased." So they've set up these pathways to gather more data, gather more intel, be able to track and trace all types of transactions, and shoot, really all forms of data, because data doesn't have to just be monetary transactions. All right. You know, I was watching the thing where they can track all carbon emissions and keep a footprint on everything, and have the algorithm simply, monitor it and keep it on point. So knowledge shall be increased. They're gonna know where you are, what you're doing, who you talk to, what you said, everywhere you go, man. Facial recognition systems. When you look at China, that you can walk in the store, walk out, and it's going to immediately deduct the credits that it needs to deduct. They're starting to implement that in the airports. Get you used to it. Now you're starting to, even out here in this small town that I'm at, there's an AI bot rolling around the store. You know, you walk into a convenience store, now it's self-checkout at a 7-Eleven. They used to have that. You know, so all these things is just getting you more and more and more introduced into a completely AI data-driven system, and they're gonna make it seem like it's the best thing since sliced bread. And JD Vance is coming and telling the rest of the kings of the earth, the 7 heads and the 10 horns, like, hey, open up your governments to go ahead and let these businesses get integrated with the system. We need to go ahead and get this done. And he's got a very dark energy. When you look at JD Vance, he's got a very dark countenance.
Paralyzing, one of the most promising technologies we have seen in generations. And with that in mind, I'd like to make 4 main points today. Number 1, this administration will ensure that American AI technology continues to be the gold standard worldwide, and we are the partner of choice for others foreign countries, and certainly businesses as they expand their own use of AI. Number two, we believe that excessive regulation of the AI sector could kill a transformative industry just as it's taking off, and will make every effort to encourage pro-growth AI policies. And I like to see that deregulatory flavor making its way into a lot of the conversations this conference. Number three, feel very strongly that AI must remain free from ideological bias, and that American AI will not be co-opted into a tool for authoritarian censorship. And finally, number four, the Trump administration will maintain a pro-worker growth path for AI, so it can be a potent tool for job creation in the United States. And I appreciate Prime Minister Modi's point. AI, I really believe, will facilitate and make people more productive. It is not going to replace human beings. It will.
Now, it's so funny how that they can sit up here and completely lie to your face. You know, when they talk about you're not going to lose your job, there's going to be so many places where jobs are removed because there is no need for it, and they think they're going to magically create some new jobs. That, you know, instead of talking to the person, press the button, or you get to monitor what the conversation of the AI, you know, whatever. Just completely lying to people's faces about what's going to happen and what's happening and what we see. This is why you have this whole Doge thing where what are they doing at Doge? They're cleaning up shop. They're getting rid of people. They're saying that it's too much waste. We need to be more, you know, we need to cut back on this. That's going to be a lot of jobs. The number one thing that costs money and resources is labor. So 1,000% they're gonna be cutting back on that. They're not playing around with that. Okay? But they're gonna present it to you as if it's just so beautiful. All right. Isaiah 19:14. The Lord have mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggereth in his vomit. And they're gonna be pushing all of these type of things, man. They're gonna be pushing all types of crazy legislation. And you know who's going to be put at the forefront of making sure it happens? You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Okay? Psalms 21 says, why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? They're bold with what they want to, with their agenda. They're bold. The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord and against his anointed, saying, let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us. Because ultimately what they want to do is create a digital blessing. The blessing that we read about in the scripture, they want to create a digital utopia that they have control over, and where AI is their angels, their programmed angels. All right. That's really what they think that they're going to create. But we know it's just going to lead to perdition, like we read earlier. All right, so let me play this one clip here. And this is another clip from Nations Conspire. And I highly suggest you go and subscribe to this guy's page. He's got some other pages, but really, really good with the news. He doesn't trust the government at all. And so I can't say that he has an objective perspective, but it's not one that you're hearing from alt-right media very, very much. He understands that there is an elite of the elite, and that Trump is nothing but another pawn in the system, and that there's nothing different happening from what was going on, what's been happening in India and China, and what's happening here in America and across the West. They're all digitizing everything. They all have the same mindset and the same systems. And it's prophesied in the scripture.
And its implications, particularly for a lot of the people.
Go back. Let's see this play. let the people know.
Revolution as the 21st century equivalent of the 19th century industrial revolution, maybe more so. Give us your sense of the scale of this revolution, where it's taking us, and its implications, particularly for a lot of the people who are here today who are in government.
Well, about 18 months ago, when we began to fully grasp what the people at OpenAI, ChatGPT had achieved, a level of artificial intelligence that would actually advance human thinking. We created neural networks that could answer questions that human brains would struggle with. When we came to grips with that, I made a speech and I said,
and this is going to be the miracles that they set forth to get people to jump onto this. If it wasn't for AI, this person wouldn't be able to be saved. If it wasn't for AI, we wouldn't be able to do this. We wouldn't be able to do that. Okay?
Is artificial intelligence the most important discovery in the history of humankind? And question mark, maybe. We'll soon find out. 18 months later, I think it's very, very clear. It is a much bigger deal than the Industrial Revolution, electricity. Whatever. We'll soon have not only artificial intelligence, but
you see how Esau's position in this? They're telling you that this artificial intelligence is more important than electricity and the combustion engine. That shows you, and this has been the messaging that they've been pushing from all across Edomite culture. You know, they're pushing this hard. They're really, the Motb, we are almost here. And all the people that said that they wasn't going to go in this direction, you're out of your mind. You're going to interact with AI. AI is going to get smarter and smarter and smarter. Then it's going to be, why do I need to interact with AI? If I can have the AI inside of me, then I can have these immediate advantages. That's what they're just getting. They're greasing the wheel. They're getting it going, and they've been pushing it faster, faster, faster.
Much sooner than anticipated, artificial general intelligence. And not in too distant future, artificial superintelligence. What is artificial and superintelligence? I'll quote my dear friend Elon Musk. Well, Elon said about artificial superintelligence, I'm not looking forward to being a house cat. We'll have incredible reasoning power of the ability to discover things that would elude human minds, because this next generation of AI is going to reason so much faster, discover insights so much faster, whether it's being able to diagnose cancer in early stages, or design therapies, custom design vaccines for those cancers, custom made for your genomics and your specific tumor antigens.
So AI superintelligence, this is the future that they're trying to build.
Right. So this is what they want you to believe, to where you put a drop of your blood inside of a vial, the AI analyzes your blood and your DNA. It's instantly able to code and 3D print, or however they want to do it, and make you whatever it needs to make you to heal you or fix you or whatever. This is what they're pushing, and this is what they're talking about right now at the summit. This is what the conversation is with Esau and the top level elites around the world. What they want to bring to you.
Build out, telling you the need for these data centers, how things have become, the system itself has become worn down. The system itself can't handle the information that it needs to handle, because the system that they want to build is a monitoring and tracking system that's going to monitor and track everything, including what's underneath your skin. These supercomputers are to pretty much enslave you. And remember, everything you do will be inside of these data centers.
Now, people that talk like us, people that talk like even nations conspire here, will be demonized at the highest levels. Okay, now Alex Jones used to be on this tip and understanding, like when you look at the prophecies, when you look at everything, not necessarily prophecies, but but now he's pushing forward this AI agenda, saying, "Oh, Elon, yeah, he's so smart. Oh my God, he's so smart." You know, and I knew Alex Jones was big. I didn't realize how big he was, man. Like he'll have a clip that he'll put up, and within hour, it's already got 45 million hits on X. It's crazy. So they're getting ready to do this, man. It's going to be a hot and heavy year, okay? And the apostles called it, and we're seeing it. We're seeing it.
Everything that you say, and eventually everything that you think. When we have the Neuralink technology moving forward, placed inside many human beings around us, obviously not myself or people like you would never allow that. But you might look around and say, well, they'll never get away with that. People will never want that. All it takes is a little manipulation to get a lot of these suckers on board. So next up is the digital ID. And this is something they've been harping on at these events for years. Part of why they did the outbreak in 2020 wasn't just about poisoning people. It was about getting people on board with the digital ID. They were trying to get you obsessed with social tracking, right? Remember all of the tracking things, contact tracing, all that stuff? That was about the digital ID. They thought you would get so afraid of the propaganda and the fear that they were putting out that you would want it so that you knew if somebody next to you had it or didn't have it. You'd want to know where the person next to you was traveling to in case they went somewhere that was a hotbed for the disease. That was part of the hypnosis they were trying to create. It didn't work, but that doesn't mean that they're taking their foot off the pedal for the digital ID, because global enslavement runs through the digital ID. So here he is talking about the digital ID, Tony Blair, who has been an advocate for the digital ID for a long time. I have many videos on the website where Tony Blair is openly, constantly obsessing with the digital ID. In fact, he was one of the people who said we needed a digital passport during the outbreak, and how we would need to know who has it and who doesn't. So who could be allowed to come in places and who couldn't be allowed to come in places like restaurants, et cetera. And since then, Tony Blair has just shifted his digital ID because they couldn't use that narrative anymore. So he uses the digital ID as something that we need coming in, who's coming out. That's exactly what Donald Trump is.
And they still push this stuff, man. Literally just got off the phone with my daughter dealing with the situation with her wanting to go to, she does debate this issue with her, her being a part of this thing at Harvard University. And then you research it, and they won't even let you in unless you're jabbed up to the tilt. So they have these barriers of opportunity unless you're doing and unless you're complicit to what they want. They're going to create more and more of these barriers, right? More and more of these laws and situations where if you don't want to do this, then you're just not going to have access to things, and you're going to have Jake. You're going to have Jake be down with it, foolishly.
Has shifted to here in America to get MAGA on board with a digital passport, probably be called America a Freedom Passport or something ridiculous like that, because that's all. Red, white, and blue. Oh yeah, I'm in on the digital. It's the freedom mark of the beast, right? I'm sure that'll be next. But here he is talking about how passwords will be obsolete. I talked about this. They've been talking about biometrics and a digital ID being needed moving forward with AI governance.
And when you come to government and what government's doing, there are artificial intelligence tools, and some of them I know that Oracle have developed around financial management for government. But also, tell us a bit about because you're right at the forefront of this revolution, what it means for what government should do in terms of its digital infrastructure, digital ID, data centers, and so on. I mean, we're here in the forefront of the use of AI in government. One of the things that people often countries is, well, what's the importance of having that basic digital infrastructure in place? Cloud services, data centers, digital identity. How important are these things to put in place so that the rest of the system works effectively?
Well, I think infrastructure in place and make sure it is secure, and often it needs to be sovereign. So my country's data centers. So I think part of our essential infrastructure, just like airports obviously need to be in our country, or they're not terribly useful. Ports need to be in our country, they're not terribly useful. Data centers, because of the privacy requirements around the data, need to be in our countries, or they're not terribly useful. They need to be in our countries, but they also need to be secure. And there are new technologies right now. This is the last year you will ever log on to an Oracle system with a password. Next, by the middle of this year, you would. Well, I'm quite certain you are Tony Blair, and so.
So listen to what he's about to say. He's telling you straight up, we're going into the Motb.
How do I know? Well, I look at you, I hear your voice, I listen to the kind of questions you ask. I'm pretty sure you're not synthetically created in having this conversation. The security system, we have biometric logins. The computer recognizes you. It recognizes your voice. It might ask you to put your index finger on the return key. And we're absolutely certain it's you. There's no reason to enter a password. In fact, passwords are too easily stolen. The data centers and data is being taken hostage all over the world. The ransomware business is a very, very good business. It's getting bigger and better every year. We tend not to talk about it because someone whose data has been ransomed. Just pay them, because there's nothing we can do about it. But there is something we can do about it, not after the data is stolen, but before the data is stolen. We can make sure that we're using the latest security technology, and it is going to be biometrics assisted by AI to make sure that you are in fact Tony Blair.
It's going to be biometrics assisted by AI, governed by AI. This is your world that's coming. This is the world that's coming. Fast, now.
And I'm sure you are.
So, of course, that is just an utter control system nightmare. That's what they're trying to bring about, this digital ID, people.
Boom. So, it's a 24-minute long video. You can go watch it. My internet's bugging, going in and out, or whatever. Something that's going to make the world be more efficient, make the world work better, so you can live better, have better health, save money. We're going to eliminate income tax. We're going to fix all of these type of things that people are mad at. But you're going to be completely enslaved. All right. Daniel 8:25 says, and through his policy, also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand. He shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many. All right. And so I like to bring that point out in that scripture, because this is how they always present this information. They present this information as if it's just this, we just want to make the world a better place for everybody. And people gobble it up. We sit here, we watch these videos, we go through the scriptures, we have the understanding, but most people don't. 99% of the world, they believe what the government says. They believe what the news is telling them, for the most part. Okay? They believe in Elon and what he's got to say. All right? They're eating it all up. Now, I want to play this clip. Hopefully it'll play. Then I'll get out of here. But So yesterday, Trump had this meeting with the King of Jordan and his son, the Crown Prince. We'll see if this will play. And Trump, man, you gotta love Trump. He's so bold with this thing. He's just straight up telling you, if we need to go to World War III, we can go to World War III. All right, but I'm gonna push this. Check this.
Killed, murdered, and having to leave every 10 years, because I've been watching this for so many years. It's nothing but trouble. Everyone's being killed. They're being robbed. It's like living in hell. And they're going to end up having a great home, great families that don't have to get mugged and killed and beaten up and harassed by Hamas and everybody else. And I know we'll be able to work something. And what you just said about the 2000 is fantastic. It's so beautiful. It's music to my ears. But we're going to be able to work something, and I know we'll be able to work something also with I believe, not 100%, but 99%. We're going to work out something with Egypt.
Mr. President, during your election campaign, Mr. President, you have in Gaza. Your White House has clear taxpayer dollars won't be used for this. So
No,
what money are you going to use to buy Gaza?
We're not going to buy anything. We're going to have it. And we're going to keep it, and we're going to make sure that there's going to be peace, and there's not going to be any.
Bro, he said, we're not going to buy anything. We're going to have it. Talking about the Gaza Strip over there. He's just straight up telling you, I don't care. So that lets you know that it's a spirit been put on him. Okay? To ferment their war.
Any problem, and nobody's going to question it. And we're going to run it very properly, and eventually we'll have economic development at a very large scale, maybe the largest scale on that site. And we'll have lots of good things built there, including hotels and office buildings and housing and other things. And we'll make that site into what it should be. And the people from Gaza who wouldn't be able to be there for years, because you're talking about just to get it and prepare it and to take care of all of the problems that currently it has, as you know, tunnels, and people are in those tunnels, and you have some good people and some bad people, and you may have hostages right now. You know, you have the hostages possibly there. They don't know where they are. And, you know,
And so he said, we're not going to buy it. We're just going to have it. We're just going to take it. Just, okay. And so when you continue to listen to this interview, you can tell that the one lady that's interviewing, she's like, what? Explain. And he's like, yeah, we're just going to have it. We're just going to take it, man. You know? And we're going to make it what we think it should be. It's going to have some office buildings, some hotels. They're proud, man. Extremely proud. All right? Daniel 7:20 says, and of the 10 horns that were in his head, and of the other which came up, which were before whom 3 fell, even of that horn that had eyes and a mouth that spake very great things, whose look was more stout than his fellows. And so they're just boldly proclaiming their Edomite world order that they want to establish, this digital Godhead that they want everybody to be all with. You're going to have to link in with our AI. And we're going to be the rulers of the world. Okay? Point blank period, man. So this thing is moving quickly. You did with this summit that they have and how they stand. They think they stand at the forefront of righteousness and speaking to everybody. We're going to see this thing descend quickly, because once they really try to clamp down, like the scripture says, when he's trying to fill his belly, you know, then all the people are going to be coming against him. Things are going to fall apart. So we're literally watching that process happen of everything getting ready to fall apart as he tries to complete his goal of mastering the universe. So with that, man, Salakia for the technical difficulties, man. I have to do what I had to do, man. Did my best with it, but Lord willing, it was somewhat edifying to you, Akim, man. The water for pulling up on me, but I'm gonna say, call hello, Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai Bashim, Lakar Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Much peace, love, and salutations to you, Akim, out there pushing the word of Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai, and seeking truth. Shalom.